You want to briefly touch on we want to kind of, sort of touch on a few things with each episode. So I figured we could touch on one of the biggest disagreements that we're having right now.
What's up?
Well, you tell me. What is it?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. The question that you like to ask me, which is, what do you do all day?
Fair. I do ask that question.
You do. And I've listed to you many times what keeps me busy. And trust me when I tell you, none of it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to focus much on the argument aspect. I wanted to bring like an interesting twist on it. And
Okay.
I just thought of that today, which is there seems to be the possible it seems to be possible that perhaps the work that goes into the situation that we are in with Mila, where she's at right now, is as invisible as her disability itself. Meaning, she's not in a wheelchair. So you're not seeing physical labor associated with a child in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have a feeding tube. So you're not seeing me having to administer her feeds through a feeding tube or change it or whatever. She doesn't have, a trach where I have to maintain her oxygen levels. But she has this hearing situation where I have to coordinate doctors and I have to request medical records and I have to schedule consults and I have to balance the calendar that Mila might as well have her own at this point. And, she's got the neuropsych situation, which comes with new recommendations for speech therapy. So like I have to manage getting her the right speech therapy, getting it increased, fighting Medicaid on that. That alone is going to be a fight. And then not to touch too much on our battle with Medicaid in another way, because legally we probably shouldn't touch on that. But there's that. And so there's a lot of coordination that goes into that in and of itself. And then there is multiple neurologists that I'm balancing, scheduling, with her Boston team, scheduling with, the neurologist here. And that's just Mila. That doesn't include driving her to her therapies. That doesn't include, driving your kids 25 to 30 minutes one way and back to school. So like 25, 30 minutes there, 25, 30 minutes back. That doesn't include Mila's appointments as she has. That doesn't include, messaging with genetics, cardiovascular, pediatrician, attorney for her specifically. Again, not going to get into the details there, but she has one. And that doesn't include the getting all of those documents that go into that fight, because there's a lot of administrative work that goes into a child like Mila with her complexities. So what you see, I think, is me at the computer all day, probably, right? For the most part.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Most of the time I see you, yeah, you're at the computer.
Yeah.
Or gone taking the kids to school.
Right. And so you kind of just wonder, like, well, what's she doing at the computer all day? And I can tell you, it's either that, coordinating all of those things, or, making sure the kids are re-enrolled in school or whatever, or it's editing the podcast or working on the social media thing or, doing whatever. So I think, I don't know, I just kind of was wondering if that's part of it, is that her disability is invisible. Therefore, at least right now, some of the work that goes into getting her what she needs is also invisible. Because a lot of times too, the other part of that is that when I make calls, whether to UNC or to a mediation or to, a pediatrician or to neuropsych or whatever, I either sometimes take advantage of the time in the car and we'll make those calls during that time, or we'll simply walk out of our room where like you work in the closet office area.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, when I was doing all of the UNC coordination on Friday, I took those calls in Aiden's room. So that stuff like you don't see. Does that make sense?
I guess. So what do you ask? What are you saying exactly?
I'm saying I think that perhaps you don't have full visibility into what I'm doing. Therefore, maybe you should stop asking me that.
Okay. You know what would help though?
What's that?
You know what the solution is?
A time card.
No, the solution is just easy communication.
I've told you.
No, I mean like at night, when sit down, say, hey, let's talk about our day for a second. Here's what all we did.
That's
Like,
hard to ask.
but is it though? Because it's just
Yeah.
like that. I think that this all comes down to.
Can I say why?
You can. I'm just saying. I think that
You can.
Well, yeah, of course you can. I'm just saying, like, it all boils down to, I think that we need to work on our communication a little bit.
Well,
because
okay. In my defense,
okay,
I have listed to you multiple times what I'm doing all day.
sometimes.
No, I've said it. I've listed it a lot. I just did too here on this podcast.
Maybe we need to have like daily. Maybe we both need to sit down with each other and say, this is.
I don't think that we need to make it
do.
to where we're like reporting on our.
I'm not saying it has to be that. I just mean like crap. We already are so disconnected. I feel like sometimes because you're doing all that, right?
That's recorded now. Thank you.
Okay. I didn't say you weren't. I'm just saying that you're doing all that. I am focused on work during the day, other than, that's it. Unless I'm going to an appointment with you or something like, I'm focused on work, which I have to be. I have to focus on work.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And then, at the end of the day, like, I'm trying to make sure, like.
Do you think part of your frustration is coming from the fact that I will be real on this podcast. I'm not cleaning right now and I'm not cooking right now.
No, I don't think
and it's okay if you're like, be honest.
No, I don't think it's that. For me, just to be honest, my worry is that stuff just may not be getting done.
Oh, 100% there's stuff that's not getting done.
And that's what worries
because
me.
I don't have the time to do it all. I have to prioritize.
Well, and you have to remember, and the way that I am viewing it is when you were not working in the past, you had meals created, you had bills that
was
doing.
Very different.
Right, but I'm saying though, you have to remember.
You can't compare those two things. That was in like 2016. We had 2 kids. We did not have a child with special needs. We were not fighting what we were fighting. We very, 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 very different. And that was a version of me that did not have severe depression or PTSD.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is I haven't quite got around, I guess, to knowing the new normal yet.
I refuse for this to be the new normal.
Well, but all I'm saying is this is where I'm trying to step up. So I do work during the day. Mm-hmm. I go to what appointments I can. And I'm cooking right now, which I'm happy to do, doing the best I can there, doing the laundry, I'm trying. So it's like, I get it. Like we're both doing what we can do. Yeah. I think it's just, for me right now, it's just a lot. I'm just trying to process how to do it. And that's all. That's all it is for me is sometimes I just feel like, I guess, if I don't do it, that's why I just say I'll just do it.
Are you talking about the cooking and the cleaning?